Hello everybody, Ghostblade 1062 here with another product review. Today will be a little bit different from the usual reviews, as today I will not be doing a review on a locomotive or a piece of rolling stock, but rather something a little bit different. And this will also be the start of a new series of various products and accessories that I use for model railroading that I will review as I build up my collection. That being said, this review will be about the Hobby Trax Choo camera car, which I do intend to use this weekend at the Big Valley Fremo event to capture some cab view shots of the Fremo layout. That being said, let's move on to the unpackaging. Alright, taking a look at the packaging here, we have a fairly simple plastic bag, and inside we can see we have our camera car, we have our charging cables, and we have our instruction manual. Starting with the charging cable, we have its own unique plug. It is not a micro USB, so it will need its own separate charging block. Then we also have the actual camera car itself here, with a lens cover over top. And we have our instruction manual. And this car does not have any couplers installed, but it does come with a socket here for there we go, for a NEM shaft type coupler. And it looks like one is actually in the middle here that came included, which I did not notice. But next, we will take a closer look at the car itself and see what details it has to it. Alright, taking a closer look at the car here. On the top, we have the power button as well as the start and stop recording buttons. And then on the side here, we have the Hobby Trax website. The lens cap is 3D printed and just slides over the top, which makes really easy removal. And looking at the front, we have a 1080p camera with wide angle. Looking at the underside, again, we have this coupler that came with it in there. However, I will not be using that as it is a plastic number 17 coupler, making it too short for my liking. So I will remove that. And instead I'm using a KD number 19. metal knuckle coupler. Looking at the back of the camera car here, we have our micro SD card slot, and this car does come with one, and this is a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. We also have our charging port and our mode switches. So we can switch between 720p and 1080p. At 1080p, the recording of this camera runs at 30 FPS, and at 720p, it runs at 60 FPS. And then below that, we have a switch to switch the camera between video and photo mode. And next, we will take a closer look at the axles and coupler height in the rip track segment. Alright, time for the rip track segment. Starting off, we are going to check the wheel gauge of the camera car with the NMRA standards gauge. And our front axle is in gauge, as is our rear axle. And now, to verify the coupler height, we are actually sitting a little bit high. However, that is something I can work with. And it actually isn't too bad. So now we can take the car over to the track for a quick test run to see how well it records as well as runs on track. Alright, for the purpose of this, we are using Santa Fe number 505. And we are recording at 1080p. Alright, that covers a quick lap around the track to the back of my coal train. Alright everybody, this concludes my quick review of the Hobbytrax Choo camera car. All in all, it is a nice little piece of technology that I think I will find good use for in the future as I expand my channel, with now having the ability to do cab view layout tours, which again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I do plan to put to use this weekend at the Big Valley Fremo event, where it will get its first real test of quality. That being said, given its purpose as a camera car, it is not of use to everyone, but it does still have its uses for those who don't intend to use it for YouTubing content, as it does allow for the cab height picture as well as video. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like or a comment, and subscribe for more model railroad content. Have a great day, everybody.